And thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. We start with some breaking news at this hour. We just learned the University of Idaho is canceling classes tomorrow due to a leak in a gas line near Pullman. It is causing mass closures across the Palouse tonight. According to Avista, the natural gas system between Pullman and Colfax belongs to a company known as Williams. This is a map from their website. It shows just how far that pipeline extends across the state. The gas leak is impacting homes, businesses, and schools across the region. Just within the last few hours, Lewiston Independent School District announcing all schools will be closed tomorrow as they cannot heat their buildings. Also announcing closures tonight, the Genesee School District in Idaho, the White Pine Joint School District in Troy, or rather the Troy School District as well, and the Moscow School District. All city offices in Moscow will also be closed tomorrow, aside from the city's utility and sanitation services. For a full list of closures and any updates as we learn them, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. We have also heard from a Washington State University student who says her campus dorm is now without heat at this hour due to that leak. The school tweeting within the last few hours addressing the gas shutdown. Right now, they say much of the campus has been switched to an alternative heat source. Anyone without heat can go to the Compton Union building, which the school says will stay open overnight. This is a developing story. We will bring you any updates just as soon as we learn more. Also note another breaking news story tonight. A federal judge granted a temporary restraining order on Idaho's so-called abortion trafficking ban just within the last few hours. The law, which went into effect in May, makes it a felony to help minors get an abortion in places where it is legal without their parents' consent. But an activist group filed a federal lawsuit against Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador in July. According to court records, this preliminary injunction stops Labrador from enforcing the law starting today until the judge orders otherwise. Now to a developing story. Major John Kaylor, the Kellogg man accused of killing a family of four over the summer, was back in court this afternoon. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk was in court as Kaylor's lawyers fought to have his charges dropped.
Major John Kaylor appeared in court this afternoon wearing an orange jumpsuit. We saw his wife and other family members sitting in the pews right behind him. On the other side of the court, you had at least one family member of the four victims and other supporters. Kaylor's defense is now asking the judge to throw out his confession, saying law enforcement violated his rights that day. A Shoshone County lieutenant and an Idaho State Police detective both taking the witness stand today, explaining why Major John Kaylor was read his Miranda rights more than 90 minutes after being in police custody and after prosecutors say the 31-year-old confessed to shooting his four neighbors. Kaylor's attorney wants the judge to throw out the confession since Kaylor had not yet been informed he had the right to remain silent and to have an attorney present.
When I initially approached, nobody appeared to be in any sort of distress compared to what I was dispatched to.
Shoshone County Lieutenant Gerald Baliski says he was on scene for a matter of seconds before Kaylor voluntarily said he shot his four neighbors. He detained Kaylor and placed him in the back of his patrol car. Idaho State Police Detective Justin Klitsch told the court he did read Kaylor his Miranda rights roughly 90 minutes later prior to an interview, once the detective shared a personal story to make Kaylor more open to talking. That detective says he asked Kaylor if he needed water, what chair he wanted to sit in, but did not ask any questions about the murders until after reading those Miranda rights.
After you read the defendant his Miranda rights, did the defendant acknowledge those rights?
He did.
Did he choose to speak with you after that point?
He did.
After that point, did you begin asking the defendant questions specific to the event?
I did.
Did the defendant respond to those questions?
He did.
At some point, did the defendant assert his right to have counsel present?
He did.
What did you do at that point?
I discontinued the interview.
Now, prosecutors say Kaylor's confession was captured on body cam video, so now it'll be up to a judge to decide if that evidence is included in trial. That trial scheduled to begin January 9th. Reporting in Wallace, Idaho tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, the Pend Oreille County Sheriff's Office searching for a missing 64-year-old Tibetan monk. Deputies say he went missing on foot this afternoon and was last seen in Newport. He is described as being about 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighing about 135 pounds. He's wearing maroon robes and a jacket. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you are urged to call that number at the bottom of your screen.
but we just wanted to get everybody out safely and quickly as possible.
An abrupt halt to ballot counting across the state today when envelopes containing powder that tested positive for fentanyl were opened by elections officials. There were 4 elections offices across Washington, including Pierce, King, Skagit, and in Spokane counties. The offices were immediately evacuated even before officials knew what the substance was, in an abundance of caution. Police, fire, and explosive disposal units responded to the elections office right here in Spokane County today. We were expecting to receive another batch of results tonight, but this incident prevented that. Instead, they hope to release additional returns tomorrow.
Considering how long it was going to take to evaluate the substance and clear the building, it was going to be several hours. So we sent the employees home, which means we don't have anyone here to process the ballots.
So again, we are expecting to receive updates tomorrow at 5 p.m. On that note, the first batch of results last night had Lisa Brown leading incumbent Nadine Woodward in the race for Spokane mayor. Right now, Brown is leading with about 52% of the vote compared to Woodward's 48%. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we are digging into Spokane's mayoral history, including a look at the last time a mayor served 2 consecutive terms. All right, switching gears to weather. After 2 days of rain, today was a nice break from the wet weather. Let's get right now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. And Jeremy, it's already pretty cold out there. How much colder are we getting overnight?
Oh, great question, because it's been a while since we dipped down below freezing, and right now we're knocking on the door. Believe it or not, this 33 degrees that you're feeling currently, if you say let the dog out or something, is the exact temperature we dropped to early this morning. So we are set to drop down likely to about 30 degrees here in Spokane. That's ahead of our next storm. That thing already moving up into the Gulf of Alaska. The frontal boundary is one that I would typically say, meh, a little bit of cloud cover. But I think this one has what it takes to bring us a little more cloud cover throughout the day, then some rain. Clouds take over throughout the day. Rain returns Thursday night into Friday, likely a light round for us here in Spokane. You get up over 3,000, 3,500 feet, you'll find snow. I think it sticks on 4th of July and Lookout Pass. For us here in town, it's basically a couple of showers that come to an end before the sun comes up. So I think Friday has a chance of being sunnier than even tomorrow does.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. In national headlines, the union representing film and television actors has struck a tentative deal with entertainment studios on a new labor contract. This could lead to the end of what has been a contentious nearly 4-month strike. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers made what the group described as its last, best, and final offer to SAG-AFTRA. The union represents more than 150,000 performers. Former President Donald Trump's daughter, Ivanka, was the final member of the family to testify in court today. She calmly testified that she had no role in her father's personal financial statements. Prosecutors say she is trying to distance herself from the business.
Ms. Trump will do all that she can to try to separate herself from this corporation, but she's inextricably tied to the Trump organization and to these properties that she helped secure financing for.
The Attorney General is seeking more than $300 million in penalties and a ban on Trump doing business in New York. New tonight, a tragic and unusual story out of California. 4 employees of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department died this week, all within 24 hours of each other. The Sheriff's Office Homicide Bureau is now investigating all 4 deaths as suicides and as separate cases. Officials say deputies are under a lot of stress, from staffing shortages to dealing with trauma on the job. They also say the department is urgently exploring avenues to reduce work stress and support their employees. Turning now to the war between Israel and Hamas, the Israeli army is claiming it has destroyed around 30 tunnels belonging to Hamas since the beginning of its ground operations. Israel's defense minister said the IDF had reached the heart of Gaza City itself, and they are, quote, tightening the noose. Meanwhile, the humanitarian crisis continues, with doctors saying they desperately need more medical supplies.
We're really running out of things now, dressings, particularly for the burns.
Biden administration officials said more than 80 humanitarian trucks entered Gaza in the past 24 hours, and they are working to increase that number.